Got you by going early. Maybe, if it worked. Let's see if this really is working. I don't know if it is. Let's check. I'll see if I can find the chat window. As you can see, I'm standing outside. Hey, yes, and audio too. However, I am... I forgot my keys. Yeah, I forgot my implant. I left home without it, so I can't get in. Pete says, no, it's not working. No. Yeah, I dressed up for you today. Henrik, I'm wearing different clothes. That noise, you can hear the noise. I am standing outside, and for those of you who have been to barbecues, you may figure out the location if you look at what's over my shoulder. In fact, if I move, which way should I move? That way. If I move that way, you will see the entrance. That's like the outside of where just in there is the entrance to my lab. So I am standing in the driveway right now with my laptop with a 4G modem, and cars are driving past, stuff is happening. I'm out in the world. I could probably just pick up my laptop and go for a little walk. But the result is there is going to be stuff happening. It's not a nice controlled environment where I can do anything about cars driving past like that. This is taking Superhouse into the world. And because I'm doing this on my laptop, I only have one screen, which means I can't actually see things half the time. Someone's internet has died. Wanted to ask for help. Oh, Henrik said, I wanted to ask help a little bit today, but now I can't. Oh, and the other thing is, yeah, welcome to the inadvertent war driving episode. I do not have TTS running at the moment, which means I do not have a list of all of the people in the chat. Hang on. I don't even know how to mute myself. How do I do it? I don't have the ATEM, I don't have anything. I've just got OBS running on my laptop. Okay, I got a cough. All right, that's a little bit better. The stream, I'm getting a warning off YouTube saying that the stream's current bitrate is lower than recommended. Well, there's nothing much I can do about it. It's just the way it is. I'm on a mobile internet connection. Can't change it. There is no power. So if anybody's wondering what the hell is going on, it is because there is no power in this entire area right now. There are line works being done somewhere around here. It was a scheduled thing. I knew in advance that this was going to happen. They sent warning out a couple of weeks ago saying that today we would be without power potentially the entire day, which is why I brought down the mobile internet device and I'm working from my laptop. But what does that mean? What it means is, the reason I said that is that I'm not on my normal computer, and things like the getting into the TTS is normally done through, I'm going to give it another go. I think it was Better Portal dot something. I can't even remember the URL. That's the problem, is that there is the URL for the TTS is oxrs.betterportal.something. I can't remember what it is, and it is not in the history for the browser or the computer that I'm on. And for some reason, the sync is on. I am logged into Google Chrome, and yeah, it's not remembering the... It doesn't have the history. Anyway, what that means is I can't do TTS. Sorry. Alright, I'm going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. Oh, that looks like Max riding past on his bike. It is. It's Max riding to the gym. Because Sunday mornings is a big day at the jiu-jitsu gym that I train at, which is about 100 meters behind me, 150 meters behind me, just down the street. So when I come here on Sunday mornings, there is a really big crowd of cars and people and things down around the gym because there are classes running from early in the morning through to lunchtime and people coming and going. So ping to voice. Ping to voice, what does that mean? Ping to voice. Okay, I got a message from Pete saying ping to voice. I don't know what that even means. So yeah, there are a heap of people I know who are right down the street from me at the moment doing stuff, trying to kill each other. Is the general gist of it. Henrik said, what do you do in the gym if there is no light? Well, you don't need light. You don't need light for for jiu-jitsu, and there are skylights and things. Ping is a notification noise. Probably means ping you and you talk. Oh, okay. No, I'd say something. Yes, Pete, you got me. Yes. It's a way of getting my attention and making me react. Tabray's asked, how long will the laptop battery last? I don't know. It's currently reporting 91% and it's saying that OBS is using significant energy. We shall see. In normal operation, if I was just sitting at this laptop, I could probably get 8 or 10 hours out of it. But the streaming uses a fair bit of juice because it's doing compression and like video processing and things in real time. So it may not last that long. Okay, so who have we got here? I'm gonna miss a heap of people, but just scanning through. Good morning to Henrik, Respian, Amanda, Imi, Mitch, Scott, some call it fun, Henrik again, Michael Wires, Stephen George, John Whips, Grant Mazels, good morning, Any Mules, Johnny Bergdahl, SK Photo Guy, Russell Rainey, Pete, oh no, not again, Pete, what are you doing here? Tech Nebulous, Tassie Bob, Gateway Community Church Live, which is not actually Gateway Community Church Live. That's Amanda. Who else? John Whips. And Amanda is here under her own account as well. If I miss anybody, I think I've got just about everybody now. Oh, Cassio is here as well. Welcome, Cassio. So, the sun, just in the minutes that I've been standing here, the sun has moved and it's now catching the back of my head and it's making my head hot. So I may have to move. So the thing is, given the limitations of the streaming setup today, I didn't want to commit to doing any topic in particular or anything in particular. I have no idea what's going to work, but I kind of feel like Pete says your face is hot. Oh wait, no, not that. Your face is hot, Pete. I have a desire to do some design stuff in Fusion, but I don't know what to do. Now, what I was doing a little while ago, a couple of streams ago, was doing the merge of the current version, like the old version of the conveyor controller project, with the Michael says, my only question is, if you knew the power was off, why didn't you stay home in the warm? I probably could have. No, what I was counting on was they gave a window and started, the window was like 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. or 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. and said, Stephen says, adding Fusion on top of ABS would consume even more energy. True. So they, maybe I better not do that. That could be a really bad idea. So what I was counting on was that it would be a brief outage somewhere within that window. I wasn't counting on it being out from before I even got here. Like, I arrived here and there was no power, and there's no power now. Stephen says, do you have something to detect when the power comes back on? I think I will know. Pete says, so what Superhouse is saying is that there's absolutely no battery backup or generators at the shop, lol. That's correct. I do actually have several how many do I have? 3. I think I've got 3, maybe 4 UPSs, and they're all busted. UPSs are just one of those things that don't last. Also, I've got a UPS. I've got a really big rack mount UPS, which I picked up from Hard Rubbish a few months ago. Pete, thanks. I got $1. Now I can go and buy a UPS. So I'm just paying attention because there are some people with a truck at a factory over the road. Last time there was a power outage, UPS had 8 hours runtime. And anyway, my point was, I didn't. I thought that the power would be on for at least some of it, and I don't really have anything else to do, anywhere else to be. So I'm here. All right, let's not launch Fusion, because yes, that would chew up my battery even more rapidly. As he says, my UPS drops the load in sympathy when the power goes off. Oh, nice. Yeah. So, who was it? Stephen. That's right. Stephen said, do you have something to detect when the power comes back on? Kinda. Crispian says, sun behind is getting glary. Yeah, I can feel it on the back of my head. Henrik, so, remember, for 14 months, be happy and get yourself a solar charged battery. Yeah, Michael says most UPS installations are to give you enough time to shut things down gracefully or to give you a false sense of security. Yeah, true. And if you have things set up properly, like Nut on... In fact, is Nut even still used? Today's stream brought to you by the Shell Terminal. Yeah. Is there an ASCII art version of the Fusion interface? So, Nut. Something... Nut? I'm trying to remember what it stands for. A long time ago... Oh, Stephen says yes, Nut is still used. Okay, so I'm talking 20 plus years ago. I used to use Nut as it's a piece of software that allows servers to interface with UPSs. Oh, Stephen says Jeff Geeling did a video on it a couple of months ago. Yes, interesting. Scott says network UPS tools. That's right, that's what NUT stands for. So the idea is that you connect the UPS to a device which is on the network, or the UPS has built-in Ethernet or something like that, so that when it detects power outage, it starts sending information. Like it'll report its state, its battery level, and whether it's running on mains power or whatever. You know, I'm being very vague here because it's literally like 20 years since I've used it, and so then devices that are paying attention can get a message, and they know that they are going to be losing power soon, so then they initiate a clean shutdown. So if you have a whole bunch of computers and you want them to shut down when power starts getting low automatically, so you don't get any bad things happening, that's what NUT is for. Yes, I think who was it? I used to know someone who was one of the maintainers of NUT. Can't remember who. But yeah, this was decades ago. Probably before some of you were even alive, if there are young people watching this stream. Henrik says, what do you think about getting a rechargeable external monitor? Like an iPad? An iPad can be used. I am thinking about maybe moving left a bit so that I can move out of the direct sun. Although the sun is nice. Yeah, stuff it. I'm going to stay in the sun. Yeah. A rechargeable external monitor. Are you talking about an external monitor with an HDMI input? And well, most of the time I don't need it because I have like a 49-inch monitor and a couple of 27-inch monitors at my desk. All your viewers will get sunburnt now. Yeah. Put on that sunscreen. Pete, member for 26 months. The sun is evil. It causes cancer. Run away. Crispian says rotate so we can see the street behind. Let's move. My laptop is sitting on a big plastic box which is propped up on a little branch to try to get it kind of level. Alright, see if that view is any different. I've got huge lag on the view that I'm looking at. Oh no, if I switch to this window then I can get a real-time view. And if I move that way, I get glare. Okay, into the street. So I'm now standing in the road, and if I turn it around that way, no data. Yeah, if I turn it around that way, you can see all the cars parked down the street. Whoop. Which way do I move? That way. You can see all the cars parked down the street. That's where the gym is. So that's where a whole bunch of my friends are right now. Oh, look at this. Look at the marks on the road. You can see that people have been out here doing circle work. In fact, that one there looks pretty fresh. That was probably done last night, is my guess. Don't know. And then if I turn around a bit more, this big messy garden is out the front of my factory, and you can see the that big roller door that's in front of my car that goes into the loading dock area. So that's where we have barbecues, which reminds me, next week is barbecue week. And my actual front door is directly in the center of the frame there, and it is behind that big aloe vera plant. And there's a car driving past. Right there. Woo. Bye. Okay, I'm gonna move back up somewhere. I'll move my box up into the shaded area. Slightly different view. I've got to get the stick, prop it back up again. I want to actually do something, not just stand here and talk at you. I also don't think I can talk for 2 hours. I'm not feeling like talking for 2 hours at the moment. It's just, yeah. Henrik says, €2, get a Tesla to get power out of it for your lab. Oh, Terry Hoons, yes. He's back. Someone pulled one of the G's out of the 4G. Oh, Tassie Bob. $10, thank you very much. Contribution to the UPS fund. This will buy the power cord or a coffee to keep you warm. Henrik said, so no one in the street doesn't have a generator? Oh, there are places down here that have generators. In fact, that noise that you can hear right now, if I'm quiet for a second, you hear that noise? That is a generator running, I think. That is at Placard. So Placard, which is the company that makes the they make credit cards, among many other things. If you have a credit card, first take a photo of it and send it to me, and send me a photo of the back as well. But then have a close look at it, and printed on it somewhere is probably in very small letters, Placard. And that is the name of the company that makes the card itself. Placard is right there. Like they have a large part of that block that is over the road from me. They've got 3 buildings in a row there, and then down the next street, and other buildings behind, and then another building over there. So and it's a kind of obscure place. It just looks like nondescript factories, but lots of security. And the people who work in there, do they have an external power outlet by any chance? And do you have a long cord? Yeah. The people who work in there have very strict security restrictions. So, for example, they're not allowed to take coffee cups into work because things can be hidden inside the coffee cups. So if they take any containers into work, they have to be transparent because they've got to be inspected when they enter and leave the building. So, yeah, they get scanned or something every time they go in or out. The factory right next door to me is a coffee roaster, and they have a little coffee shop out the front. So staff from Placard are regularly coming in here to get coffees, and they'll come in. They either get a takeaway coffee, and they have to drink it and then throw the container away before they go back into work, or have transparent cups so that they can have a coffee and get through security with it, which seems a bit silly because you can still stick something inside the coffee, but oh well. Henrik said, could you check your Discord if it's not going to use a lot of power? Tassie Bob says, coffee shop doesn't have disposable transparent cups for them. No. No. There's a guy who works over there who I regularly see in the coffee place, and he's got a transparent thermos, and it's actually really cool. It's like a thermos cup. It's like bigger than a normal cup, smaller than a normal thermos, but it's all glass, and it's got the vacuum, whatever it is they do in between the 2 layers of it to maintain the heat. And I saw it one day and said, oh, that's really cool, where'd you get that? And he told me, and he said it cost like $120. So no. Yeah, Keith said coffee isn't transparent too. Exactly. So that's why the whole thing is a bit silly. I think it's a bit of security theatre, but that's their rules. Now, where was it? Stephen W says, I have 16 kilowatt hours of battery due to be installed now. The rebate is going. Ooh, nice. Very cool. Imi says, fuel for drive to find one in hard rubbish. Now, that's right. I was going to start talking about that. So, I have a large rack mount UPS and an external battery pack that matches it, like an external rack mount battery pack that I got off hard rubbish at one of the neighbours near where I live, just over the road. They must work at some kind of a tech company, because every now and then they put stuff out for hard rubbish, and it will be things like a whole box full of dev boards, but they're like prototypes for some company, or it's tech stuff, like they'll put out 5 monitors or something, and or a big bundle of old cables, the classic tech sort of cable bundle of random serial cables and miscellaneous obscure things. So when they do, I check it to see whether there's anything decent. And a few months ago, they put out this big rack mount UPS and a rack mount battery pack that matches it so that it extends the runtime. And Imi says, I just found the Placard logo on one of 3 cards. So anyway, I got it. It was heavy because it's got batteries in it. I'm sure that if they put it on hard rubbish, it's probably dead. I have not plugged it in. I haven't opened it to look at it. It's currently sitting in the front of my factory. And my plan is that at some point, I am going to open it and so Stephen says, I know a company that sells the individual batteries to replace the APC UPS batteries, so they'll be the same for that one. I think it was a Powerware you have that I saw there. Yes, I think you're right. I can't even remember what it is. So anyway, my plan is, it's going to be a project. I need to put it on a bench, take the cover off. Keith says, sounds like a barbecue project. Exactly. That was actually something that I had in mind. So I was thinking that for a barbecue, what I would do is chuck it up on the bench in the mechanical area, open it up, and we'll just see what state it's in. Maybe it works and it just needs new batteries. I don't know. But first step is to investigate. And that does sound like a barbecue type thing. Which reminds me, barbecue, is it next weekend? I think it must be next weekend. Keith said, the bench that is to be welded. No, I do have a bench in the middle. I have, I've got one of Lachlan's benches in the middle of the workshop area, and I want to weld up 2 more benches myself. I want to make one more long bench that goes on the side wall to match the one that I've already made, and I want to make a big bench that goes in the middle that will be on casters so I can move it around. Stephen says, yes, barbecue in 1 week. Right. So for those of you who don't know, I am going to put, do I put it in here? Do I put it in here? I'm okay. The thing is that if I put the URL in the chat, it will appear on YouTube and it will be up there forever, which includes details of the barbecue and my address. So I'm not so sure that I want to do that. Not entirely sure. Let's see. Barbecue. I'm just getting into Discord. Yeah, anyway, barbecue. If anybody wants to get details of the barbecue, okay, I'm going to do something really bad here. I am going to put my, here we go. I'm going to put my email address in YouTube chat. Yeah, John says don't do it. Yeah. Oh, Keith says just to add /barbecue to the URL on the screen. Yes, true. So the Superhouse URL, add /barbecue. Now the thing is that being obscure, yeah, I never would have guessed an email address. Yeah, the I actually also have the domain oxa.au, but I haven't gone through the process of setting it up. So my email address could actually be john@oxa.au, but that takes work that I haven't done. My email is hosted through Gmail, so I've got the domain bound to Gmail. I could set it up. I should do it. There are so many things I should do. Yeah, John says don't do it. That was about replacing disclosing the URL. Michael says most UPSs are bulletproof until you consider the battery. Yeah, the batteries are definitely a consumable item. Alright, so Pete says, this is interesting. Pro tip, build your own UPS out of batteries removed from mobility scooters. They don't have the guts to drive the machine and they won't stay up for ages as a UPS, but they're dirt cheap. And in Australia, because replacements are covered by the government, there's a good supply of them. Yeah. Okay. Mobility scooter batteries. Henrik said, how good are you at hacking RS485 stuff? No idea. Haven't done it before. What you could do is post details in Discord, maybe in the help channel. If you've got a particular thing where you want to figure out what's going on RS485. I've used RS485, but I've never messed around with anything specific with reverse engineering on it. So I actually don't even know what the... Like, RS485 is a multi-drop bus. Oh, Henrik says, I'll think about it. The stuff isn't your DM right now to validate. Oh, okay. So RS232 being point-to-point serial communications between two devices, RS485 is multi-drop, so you can have more than two devices on the same bus. And I know it's like a it's a very old technology, but I've never done anything much with it, so I just don't know. I don't know what the difference is. I've just got to check. Oh yeah, I still have battery on my 4G device. What's my laptop battery at? 76%. That's all right. Gavin says differential pair. Right, okay, so it is not a TX RX. Well, it's not just like one TX line and one RX line, it's a differential pair. So good for noise suppression. I know it's used a lot in industrial systems. It's kind of like the thing that used to be used before CAN bus was a thing. But Henrik really wants me to check his messages in Discord. Okay, where are the messages in Discord? There? Oh, there's a whole lot of images. What? Com settings, but no idea where are the pins. I don't know. Movie tech. Yeah, Henrik, I think this is something to post in the help channel, because I could I could go through these photos and try to figure it out, but then it's just me doing it. It's better if other people have a chance to have a look at it as well. Mitch says, still uses an interconnect for things like battery banks and inverters and solar charge controllers. Yeah, I know that it's really common still. It's one of those fundamental technologies that has been around forever and will probably continue to be around forever, just because it's so well supported and so well known and ubiquitous. It's just not something that I've ever really dealt with, so I don't know the specifics of it. Oh, Stephen says Modbus is RS485 underneath. Oh, okay, yeah, so Modbus being a protocol that sits on top of RS485. Stephen says, I've done heaps with RS485. I have about 50 devices in my house as my home automation system uses it. Ah, nice. And Stephen says, definitely post in the help channel. Pete, I don't mind RS485, but I couldn't eat a whole one. Yeah. Or 422, which is TX and RX pair for synchronous TX RX. Yes, I have actually used RS422 before, and the reason I've used RS422 is that in the early days of Mac, like Apple Mac, back in, like, we're talking System 5 days, System 4, that sort of thing, the early networking and device, yeah, Mac used RS422. So I made some adapters and things. Crispian says, I can hear a Lycoming up in the sky. Yeah, you recognize the engine. Tassie Bob says, back when John was a teenager. Yeah, well, I was 14 when the first Mac came out. Aerial Squirrel Patrol. Yeah, I've got some people walking up right near me at the moment, coming over. A couple of people have just walked up to the front of the factory next to me. The ring gear makes a particular noise. Ah, okay. So you recognise the Lycoming engine. Henrik says, I know I'm creating my own controller now. I just wonder why the protocols have to be hidden in so simple stuff like LED signs. It's just because manufacturers do that. That's the usual way they do business. There is this desire for secrecy. People want to keep things to themselves. Crispian says, I have a good ear and been around aircraft a lot. Yeah, so you can recognize it as background noise in coming through the video. And also, so Crispian asked for help with Linux Mint. So if anybody is coming to the barbecue next week and is willing to give Crispian some help. So he's got an issue with an SSD, and I think the problem is he wants to be able to boot a computer off this SSD, and he can't get the bootloader to work properly. So it either won't install on the SSD, or it won't recognize it when the computer boots. Something like that. And I don't really know what the problem is. But if anybody wants to help with figuring that out, then yeah, I'm sure Crispian would appreciate the assistance. Oh, Mitch says, I've had and solved that problem. Okay, cool. With Linux Mint in particular, or with an SSD or something. I have not messed around with bootloaders for a long time. Last time, yeah, it is so long. So Henrik says, if anyone would be interested in the stuff that's posted in the help channel out, that is his stuff in relation to RS485. And sorry, I was just laughing because I saw Stephen's comment. Mitch fixed it with RM minus RF/. So, which reminds me. Mitch says, outside the box, Crispian, please bring a Mint bootable USB key. Keith H says to Mitch, craving for donuts. I am craving for donuts. I am currently on 0 caffeine, and I've only had a little bit of a snack to eat this morning. So I am, and on top of that, contextually, on Monday, so this is since the last live stream, since I've last seen you, on Monday, the major project that I've been working on for 5 years got its first actual purchase order for product to be shipped, to be delivered, and the goal is to have it ready for this coming Wednesday, which is it's a big task. So all this week I have been working all through the day, through the night, and I'm kind of exhausted. Yeah, how is that not the leading story? Major shipping news, says David. Yeah. I actually can't remember. Did I show you the semi-trailer motorization thing that I've been working on? I'm pretty sure I did. Because it was shown at the big truck show in Brisbane a month or a bit more than a month ago. And yes, says Crispian. Okay, cool. Yes, a while ago. So that was when the project went public, and there is now the first batch. So there are 2 trucks on the production line that are right now at the truck factory down in Dandenong, which are being fitted up with the system. It's already on a couple of trucks, but they were like field test units. There's a Visi B double, which is driving backwards and forwards between Brisbane and Adelaide, like once or twice a week. And the there's an Australia Post truck which has been using the system for quite a long time. David C asked, what's the system called? Well, it's just called the Burke Motorization System. Oh no, Steve did not get onto that board, because that is not my project. It's my client's project. Anyway, the upshot of all of this is that I have been busting myself to assemble these units. Tom has been working on them all week. I've had my daughter Amelia in helping as well. And it's so for this first lot, we're putting together 80 units, which is 80 pairs of devices. So 80 motors and 80 sets of control buttons. So 160 devices that we have to assemble and test and firmware flash and all of those sorts of things. And they are fairly complicated. And the basic maths, the sun is moving. Even now I've moved into the corner, it's now moved around enough to catch me. And the basic maths of it is, if you're building 80 of something and you have a particular task that takes you 5 minutes per thing, then that's effectively a day of work. It's not quite, but it's close. By the time you allow for messing around with things, a 5-minute job done 80 times is a day of work. And there are many little 5-minute jobs that have to be done on each of these things. So the result is there are many days of doing things. And a 5-minute job could be, for example, taking a piece of cable, stripping it, and soldering it onto a connector with heat shrink. So we've got this little wiring loom, which has not a microfit. I can't remember what the connector is. It's a 3mm pitch connector, 6-pin, and there is a 6-core cable that connects onto it. So, and it's a solder connection. So what we have to do is strip and tin 6 wires on this cable, put heat shrink on all 6 wires, solder them onto the back of this connector, hot air the heat shrink, then put a piece of glue-lined heat shrink over that goes over that heat shrink, hot air that, then put another piece of larger glue-lined heat shrink that goes over the connector body and seals it back to the cable, and hot air that. So, that sort of thing. There is close to 10 minutes of work. In fact, it would be more than 10 minutes. Yeah, I've spent nearly 3 days making 80 of those cable assemblies. Just sitting there, stripping, soldering, heat shrinking, stripping, soldering, heat shrinking. So when you have a job, so yeah, it's like 10 to 15 minutes of time for each one of those cables, and we need 80 of them. So this sort of thing just does not scale very well. And the exercise that I'm going through at the moment as we are building this first batch of units is finding all of these pain points from an assembly point of view, the things that trip you up or the things that could be optimized out of the design. So far what we've done is we've been doing prototyping, field testing. So we're right now at the point of doing the optimization, the design for manufacturing optimization. So what I've been doing is finding all of these parts of the project or parts of the assembly process that take time and figuring out how to optimize them out. And then I've already been revising the PCB to Henrik, stop talking about food, I'm hungry. I'm going to rotate around here a bit to move myself out of the sun slightly. Also just checking batteries, good on 4G, good on the laptop. It's at 68% on the laptop now. So, what was I saying? That's right. So as we are assembling this first batch of units, I am revising the design to optimize it for future assembly. And in this particular case, this was a wiring harness that was not part of the original design. It came about because of mechanical constraints of the way the electronics is mounted, and not being able to run cables into where I had planned to run them. So now we've got to make this little wiring harness to bring a connector out into a location where I didn't think that we needed a connector, but it turns out we do. And that has now been 3 days of pain to make that happen. So what I've done is I've got a version of the PCB where I've modified it to change the way the wiring is done and to group signals together and things doesn't really matter. I won't go into the details of it. But the idea is that by making a few changes to the design, I can eliminate the need for that little cable harness entirely. It just won't exist in the next version of the design. So that's just crossing out 3 days of labor per batch of 80 units. Yeah, and that's just one example. There are many little things like that that need to be done. Michael says I'm having apoplectic flashbacks to fitting out Linfox trucks with telemetry systems. Yeah. Oh, Crispian thinks I'll be sunburned just to my left ear. Good thing I moved. Oh, Pete! Lamb souvlaki sounds pretty good about now. Proper one, corner store stuff where the owner knows the best local butcher with the best local lamb, fresh, crispy lettuce too. Yes. Why is it that souvlaki, if you go into a souvlaki shop these days and they have the big slab of meat on the vertical spit that's turning, it's always like manufactured meat. It's just like it's like meatloaf. It's not actual meat. What I want is a lamb souvlaki that is pieces, like actual pieces of lamb. Oh, that sounds so good right now. It's Pete's fault. Pete's fault that I'm hungry again. Any mules? I just finished some leftover garlic prawns. Yum. I'm not a huge fan of prawns, but I can appreciate that you appreciate it. Enjoy it. Yeah. Actual pieces of yummy stuff, not... I'm always disappointed when I keep trying to find a souvlaki place that does it the way it should be done. Like real, proper roast lamb that's been sliced, and someone's here for grabbing some wood. Yeah, anyway, flavor, texture, all those things. Not just a lump of meat substitute stuff. Crispian says, my dad had a lot of Greek friends and we went to the biggest parties when I was a kid. This sort of food was normal. Yeah, it used to be. It used to be really... Like if you went into a souvlaki place, like a classic burger / fish and chip shop, and you asked for a souvlaki, you would get a wrap with pieces of proper lamb in it. But it doesn't really happen anymore. It's always the manufactured stuff. You know what? I am really seriously tempted to make this a very short live stream, unless someone has a specific thing that we should get into, because I am so zonked. Ooh, James, just posted. I just saw just posted a photo in Discord. Spotted a kangaroo on my rain gauge camera. That's cool. That's a long fence line. Where is that? It's a very, very flat horizon as well. Yeah, I'm talking about something that nobody else can see because... Hang on, how do I zoom out? Okay, now I'm going to switch to screen sharing mode. How do I do this? Screen share. Yes, screen share. Okay, so now this is the photo. I hope it was okay to post this, James. Sorry, I didn't get permission before making this public, but I figured that this didn't really reveal anything too personal other than a cute kangaroo coming out and having checking out your rain gauge. Yeah, that is cool. Okay. Mitch says, design something in Fusion. Yeah, I'm trying to... Pete says, old men yell at Souvlaki shop. I am trying to not open Fusion because I'm on battery and currently at 65%. And Fusion chews energy, and OBS is chewing a lot of energy already. My battery is falling precipitously. The fact that it's gone from fully charged to, what are we at? 64% in only an hour, that is crazy, because normally this battery will last all day. David C says 1% a minute at this rate. Yeah. Paul, has that kangaroo given permission? Oh, there are some cute puppies walking past. These are ones that I've said hello to before, but I can't remember what their names are. Hang on, I will turn around and give you a view. Look at that. A couple of cute puppies walking past, and have they given permission to be on the live stream? No, they haven't. I'm sure the puppies don't mind. Yes, I've said hello to those puppies a few times before. With the guy there that was walking them, I can't remember his name. I have a name problem. Yeah, he walks around here every day, pretty much. I think he must live somewhere very close. So he's always walking those two dogs around. So I have given both of them cuddles a few times. Yeah. Stephen says, there's no expectation of privacy walking down the street, no permission required. Yeah. Crispin says, your body battery is depleted too. Enrique had a good suggestion. Open so many stuff until your battery dies. Yeah, just keep opening things. Now, I am... I am really struggling with this stream because of all of the aforementioned circumstances. Just the fact that I am standing here with my laptop sitting on a rubbish bin is enough to throw me off, combined with being tired, etc. Alright, so what else has happened during the week? Not very much. Michael, his live stream privacy is appalling. Okay, so Henrik has posted his RS485 issues at the in Discord. So if anybody wants to have a look at the RS485 stuff, you can jump in there and help. Mitch asked, is the power on at the gym? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure a very large area has no power here right now. So there's no point going to the gym to try to get power. And there are heaps of people there as well. So I would be walking in, and that's in a... there is an expectation of privacy there in the gym because it's not in public. It's a private place. So it wouldn't really be good for me to walk in with a laptop doing a live stream with a heap of people in there doing jiu-jitsu. What's the time now? 11 o'clock. Yeah, so it's regular classes. It's no longer kids class. The kids class starts... oh, Dodgy is here. Good morning, Dodgy. The kids class, I think, is the first class on a Sunday, maybe 8 a.m., something like that. And then it's a series of adult classes after that. So at least it wouldn't be the kids class. But still. Ooh, cocky. There is a cockatoo just walking along over there. Stephen says ETA is 4 p.m. for power restoration according to Oznet. Yeah, I don't... Okay, maybe that is the ETA. The way I read the notification was that they had a window during which they were going to do the works, and the window ended at 4 p.m. So it may be that they're actually planning to bring it back at 4 p.m, or it could be just that that is the end of the window and it may come back before that. But in any case, I have no power. Henrik says, also injury update. On Monday the stitches were removed, but the leg is still hurt some. At least I have fresh strawberries for vitamins. Yeah. Keith says your website is still working. Yeah, luckily, because it is a very, very long way away from me. Stephen says John joins in on the kids' classes because it means he has a better chance of winning. Not much of a better chance. It's still a very small chance. It's just slightly less small. Yeah. Yeah, I should go and join in a kids class. Oh, Henrik. So, back to Henrik's comment. Well, it's good that you had the stitches out, but it sucks that it still hurts. Yeah, I hope the recovery continues and the pain disappears. The pain all goes away. Yeah, I think it's because I'm going through this old Telstra 4G dongle. So my actual connection is going through this thing right now, which despite the cable is not plugged in. So this is my internet connection. I am coming to you through this box. Oh, it feels quite warm. And I am chewing up 4G data, and it's probably got a moderately low upload bandwidth going through it. I don't know what the upload speed is. It's not a modern, it's not a super modern dongle. It's been around for a while. And I am currently getting just over 2 megabits a second as my upload speed, according to YouTube Studio. Michael says, Telstra electric hand warmer. No, Henrik says, obviously it's warm, it's coloured black and it's sunny outside. No, but it's been in the shade. It's actually sitting on... Alright, I'm going to give you some context. I'm going to show you what my laptop has been sitting on. Switch to that. There's another car going past. Okay. Oh, that's bright. So, you see the rubbish bin there? That is the big dump bin for the factory. The plastic container, that's what my laptop has been sitting on. And the dump bin is actually cold. The sun is moving across it now, and most of it is in the sun. But this dump bin is very heavy. It's a large chunk of steel, and it's been sitting overnight in freezing cold conditions. This whole surface that I'm on now, if I touch it, it is very cold to the touch. It's still frosty, and the dongle has been sitting on that surface in the shade, and it's still hot even then. It's sitting on a big heat sink. I'm going to keep moving because the sun keeps moving. But yeah, I am not going to make it to the end of this 2 hours. Henrik said, oh, I thought you were standing beside a nice wooden desk. No. No. Yeah, as Crispian says, it's a big heat sink. Yep. Alright, so I am going to end this stream early because this has been a stream about nothing. Even more than normal. I mean, normally my streams are about nothing, but this time it's really about nothing. And I think I'm going to go in search of a souvlaki, because if I get in my car and drive somewhere that there is electricity into a nearby neighborhood, there should be shops open. Paul says, time to get an EV with vehicle to load for backup power. Yes. Terry says, the Seinfeld stream. Yeah, the stream about nothing. We need the Seinfeld music for the outro. Yeah, so I can get copyright strikes. I'm going to go for a drive and find a souvlaki. But before I go, a reminder. Oh, Crispian says, Imi has been trying to get a souvlaki for you. What? How? I think it'll be cold by the time you get here. It is several hours of drive between where Crispian and Imi are and me. So, yeah. Next week, barbecue. Pete's asking Tassie Bob to take him a souvlaki. Everybody needs to have souvlakis today. It could be a vegetarian souvlaki if you prefer, or whatever type of souvlaki you want, but everybody has got to get a souvlaki. Oh, Crispian says she's searching locations for you at least. I have done that myself. There are a number of souvlaki places around here, like quite close to me, that when you look at the reviews and things, they seem good, and then you try them and they have that manufactured meat instead of real meat. And probably my best bet for getting a really good one would be Nico's Tavern, which is it's actually a little bit of a drive from here. It's in Croydon South. No, it's in, yeah, kind of. It's in between Croydon and East Ringwood. And they do, like, Nico's Tavern is the real classic Greek restaurant. You know, I don't know if they still do it, but they used to have evenings where they would do plate smashing. I've got to try to get this out of the sun because there's glare coming in. Yeah, so you could go along and have a like a big celebration night or something, and they would give you a whole lot of plates, which are, you know, cheaply made. They're designed for this purpose, but, you know, people would dance and smash plates on the floor. I don't know if they still do it. They used to do it at Nico's Tavern a long time ago. So if you wanted to let your exuberance out, you could smash your plates. So Mitch says, comma is important here. Let's eat, John, is different to let's eat, comma, John. Stephen says, I guess, John, is what we're having for lunch. Maybe not. You're not having me for lunch. Okay, so next weekend is barbecue week. I will try to do a bit more of a cleanup. At the moment, the front of the factory is just chock-a-block jammed with stuff because it's all been moved to the front to clear work area in the back. I need to do something about that. And oh, Crispian says souvlaki GR Baronia. Okay, I've just got a message. Hang on, I've got to open up messages. I'm going to see if this is one that I've been to. Souvlaki GR Baronia opens at 12. Opens at 12. That's no good. All right, have I been to this one? Chandler Road, just near Chandler Road. Best Greek restaurant in Baronia. I'm going to look for, where is it? Maps. Yeah, this is not really, where is it? I want to go to there. Okay. I think I've been to that one. Oh, yeah, I know that one. I don't think I've actually eaten in it. There's Jimmy's Kebabs. Oh, and then 2 doors away from it, there is Lipari Pizza and Pasta. Yeah, I've tried several different... So around Baronia, there are a number of different kebab places. And I have gone to most of them over the last couple of years, trying to find a decent one. But I don't think I've been to Souvlaki GR. Yeah. Cool. All right, I'm going to go and check out Super Lucky GR, but not until 12. They're not open yet. Oh, Terry says they don't smash plates in Greece anymore. They throw flowers. Oh, that's disappointing. I want to smash plates. Yeah. Okay. So thanks to Imi for checking out lunch options for me. Yeah, that's cool. I appreciate it. Where am I? Back to here. Yeah, we're getting glare coming in from the top now. It's amazing how fast stuff moves. Also one in Croydon, already open, says Crispian. It's just getting a message on my watch. Okay, so next week, barbecue week. Come along. I think there are going to be a few new people coming next week. I've bumped into people in different contexts, like at meetups and things, and they've like heard about the barbecues. I had someone on Facebook, someone I don't even know, say, oh, she thinks her son would be interested. I don't know why. I think he's a student who's into tech or something like that. So this barbecue, I think there are going to be a few new people coming along. Just seems to have been word getting out somehow. Or there may be 3 of us. I don't know. Might be me and Keith. That would be cool. But yeah, hopefully I will see many of you next week. All right, I am going to go and find myself some souvlaki and rest. I need to rest my brain. I need to rest my eyes. I am really running on fumes right now. So thanks for coming along to this stream about nothing. And I will see as many of you as possible next week. Right here. Like here at the door. This roller door behind me. This will be open. There will be a barbecue. There will be stuff to eat and drink and snacks. It'll be good. It'll be fun. Come along. Okay. Thanks. See ya.